Hello and welcome to Who Dares Rolls. I am your host, Mike B. This is the Mumble Jumbo for some point in March the 21st, I'm going to say. So we're going to do that. All right, everyone okay? Everyone keeping well, safe, out of mischief, out of trouble, playing some board games, one hopes. I've been similar, nothing terribly exciting to report. Indoors has been rough all weekend, so I've been pretty much just running around looking after the little man and the hairy boy, so it's been busy. However, I did get to play some games, which we will indulge ourselves with momentarily. So last video we've been doing a bit on Legacies. I played 3 games of that. I won't go deep into that, but there's a Legacies Facebook group, so Ian Sutton shared it onto there, and there's been a small amount of traction. That there's been some interest of going, oh my god, we're talking about a game. So that was all right. So I'm hoping to do a review of that. It's quite nice, the interaction. We are still teetering on the edge of 400 subscribers. We've kind of dropped one. We were 398 and now we're 397 on the last look. What is it? Why can't we crawl over the fucking line of 400? I mean, it's not much. People are on thousands. We can't even get over 400. I despair. It's all about being the best kept fucking secret and all that, but for fuck's sake. Anyway, I'm going to move on. I went on a mini rant. I went and lost it a little bit for them. Let's have a look at what I played. Let's do that. So played games. What have I been playing? Well, I've been playing some Dinogenics. We played Dinogenics on Friday. There was 5 of us, I want to say. I think it was 5. Ben owns Dinogenics. It is a Jurassic Worldy Park type style game. So there was Dinosaur Island, and then a few years afterwards, Dinogenics came out. It is a worker placement with card play, some multi-use cards. You essentially kind of go down places, take cards. You collect set collecting for dinosaurs to be able to build them. It's got the actual park has like little walls and stuff and all that sort of things, and it kind of similar. And it's very much you either like one or the other, it feels to be. This we played with the expansions, which adds aquatic dinosaurs, which are slightly more powerful and different tweaks to those. The base game is quite simple. It's fairly straightforward. It's a very sort of just barely scratching a medium weight, I think, the base game. It's quite easy to teach, quite easy to pick up. It's a nice, easy sort of play. The expansion I like because it adds a bit more meat to it. Not a massive amount, but it does add a bit more. Essential idea of the game is you get an event every turn that does something that you can see what's coming up, and you've got these various areas that you can go to, place a worker to do a thing. And they say they're like collecting cards or DNA to build dinosaurs. You can build a dinosaur, you can get goats to feed them, you can buy buildings to upgrade your park. Like Dinosaur Island, every round visitors come, they earn you money, they earn you victory points, and so on and so forth. I quite enjoy it, to be honest with you. I quite like it. I own Dinosaur Island and the expansion. And I'll be honest, base game Dinosaur Island is a bit more involved. It's a bit more complicated. Maybe it's kind of one of those games which it's not as streamlined as it could be. The expansion I finally picked up because I quite like the idea of expansion. I thought I picked it up because it added a 5th player, but I think I lied to myself. And I found the expansion is all modular, add bits in, but it just bloats everything up. It doesn't really make anything easy, and to such a point, actually, if I pull Dinosaur Island out, because it's all in one lot, I just go, oh, fuck. Really just lack the motivation to be able to teach it and play it, because it's just all this shit. And not all of that shit really add much. So actually, I think Dinogenics, to me personally, is a more enjoyable game, easier to teach, and it's good fun. I like Dinosaur Island, but at the moment, I think I'm just going to strip out all the expansion stuff, or most of it, because it's just a ball ache, and it's just, I know they re-implemented it with Dinosaur World, that I've heard differing opinions on that, so we don't know if that's better or worse. But there you go, Dinogenics. I quite like Dinogenics, actually, and I think, to be fair, at the moment, I'm coming down on I prefer Dinogenics to Dinosaur Island, even though I don't own it. And it's good fun. It's a lighter game to a point, easy to get to the table, and the expansion adds a lot. There was another expansion due, which I think a couple of years ago, but clearly pandemics and stuff has happened, so that's probably cocked that up. But yeah, if you're in the market for something like that, then maybe give that a pop. I recommend it. It's good. It's all right. So Sunday, Robbie wasn't there. It was only me, Tony, and Jamie. Robbie had the shits. So we said, stay away, don't want the shits, keep it to yourself. Now, there was a contemplation. I said, as there's less of us, that's play something you haven't played for a while, or that's teach a game, or that's go for something a bit more involved. I had floated the idea of potentially Through the Ages, which is a monstrous Vlaada Chvátil Civ the board game, kind of. I like the idea of it. I played it on the app a few times. I played it on the board game many years ago. Picked it up cheap a little while back, and it's kind of sat on the shelf of shamey type territory. So I did contemplate that, but I am aware, it's a long game. It's a bit of a teach, but I thought for the three of us, it might be the better option. However, I did put it out there, if people had other stuff, that we could do that. And I know Tony has been kickstarting shit like it's no tomorrow, and I knew he had some stuff. And he bought a few things, of which one that we zeroed in on was Dead Reckoning from AEG. It is a pirate game. It's kind of a 4X pirate deck building, engine building game. It was a Kickstarter, and it is festooned with Kickstarter bling, complete with a board, a boat that you throw dice into that they roll out like a dice tower, and they roll out and they in fights that shows you what the fight things is. I kind of like that. It's kind of random crazy shit. The idea of the actual game itself is you are a pirate or you're a ship captain, and you have this board set up, depending on the player count, of randomized hidden islands that you can sail out on. You set your sails on your ship, and as long as you haven't got other stuff loaded on your ship, you can sail certain distances and upgrade all this as the game proceeds, to go to the islands and uncover them and get stuff. It uses I think it was in Mystic Vale it first came up, this deck building-y thing where you don't actually so much deck build as you slide clear perspex, I don't say perspex, but the clear sort of bits of card into a sleeve. So you kind of slide them in and you can upgrade your card. And there's 3 slots essentially. You can also upgrade each of the base pirate cards 4 times. So on your turn, you do some actions which basically involve sailing, moving stock around, moving bits around, taking over islands, or using the card actions to take over islands or fight other ships or fight stuff on the board. Stuff like that. Kind of a bit Jamaica, kind of a bit Seafall. Actually, not Jamaica, what's the other one? Merchants of Orders, that's what I'm thinking of. So a little mishmash of that. And all that looks good. I mean, the production quality is insanely blinged, beyond blingness. And we didn't play before, we taught. So we taught from the rulebook, and got cracking on it. And you know what? We had a game. I think there's a few. We definitely messed a few things up. I'm now coming back on perspective of it. The game seems to be very much this economy of this engine build and building these decks, but also you've got a certain finite amount of cubes, and you use the cubes to do a lot of stuff. In battles, you throw them into the dice tower thing. You use it to control islands. It's all about area control of islands. And as you control them, you can produce stuff on them. However, there is a finite amount of these things. And the rulebook is, whilst it does a good job of conveying everything, it's one of those that's a real pain in the arse, because we played through with it and it does break stuff up, but there's lots of little sub boxes scattered throughout the rules that actually have really important rules in them, and they're not like their own chapters. It's always the conundrum of how you put a lot of moving parts into a rule book and make it all work, and I don't think there's an easy answer to that. So we went through it, we got it. There's definitely bits and pieces where I was finding, where's that, what's that, and it was a bit of a pain in the arse. But the one with the cubes was buried in a subplot somewhere else on a page, like page 16, buried on the side panel. So you can take cubes off the board and use them for other means, but then you can limit the control of the islands you're doing. And I think we fucked that rule up, because I think we were putting stuff back after we borrowed it, which I don't think we should have been doing. So we need to play it again. On the whole, I actually quite enjoyed it, considering it was a teach and play. It was a couple of hours game, 3 of us. Wasn't bad for teach and play. I like what it's doing. I've not played Mystic Vale, but I like the idea of the sleeving into the card thing, so it can be a bit of a fuck around doing it. But it's a nice touch, and you can kind of use iconography, and you can kind of match stuff on the cards and more power them up and do stuff. But I kind of liked all that. And the boat's kind of crazy, and the components are cool. It's kind of got that Seafall vibe, which it does all the stuff that I would like Seafall to have done, to be honest, allowing you to upgrade your ship and do stuff. The game is triggered at the end by 4 achievements. There's a bunch of achievements at the top. Once 4 of those have been achieved, which is everything from sinking ships to having battles to finding islands to finding certain stuff or whatever, game gets triggered and we have one last round and then it's game over. Jamie won, if I remember rightly. I think me and Tony came close, second and third. I can't remember which way it came. But yes, I enjoyed a lot of it. It is a bit fiddly in places. The rulebook's not brilliant, but then we were teaching playing. I know there's a couple more expansions Tony's got, one of which involves a campaign play, which I would be interested in knowing more about that, because I don't know whether that has like a legacy-ish element that you can carry over upgraded cards to following campaigns. If that does that, that could be kind of cool. And it's definitely one I would like to have another pop at. But yeah, have you got David? Did you back it? I think I remember seeing it and just going, oh, it's expensive. Oh, the expansions. Oh my god, and kind of walked away from it. I like the idea, but it was just. But yeah, cool. I like a bit of Pirates. I enjoyed it. There's lots of options in there. I don't think we nearly got into the depths of it, because there's a whole thing about you can raise your colours and be a pirate ship, and then you get in fights all the time and stuff. There's a lot of different ways of coming at it. Either if you're going to trade between islands, or you're going to be pirate, or if you're going to privateer, or you're going to lots of things. And so we touched upon it, but not played it enough. I definitely want to see it again. I definitely want to play it again. But yeah, good. That was Dead Reckoning from AEG. I quite enjoyed it, even though it was a bit fiddly. And then we finished up the night, because we finished about 11ish doing that, and there was 3 of us, so it's less easy to play a lot of the games we usually play, which are usually hidden treasure games or stuff at 4 or whatever. So we played, I dug this out, which was on my shelf, which was Mondrian, which I picked up in Essen some years back, 4 or 5 years ago, I want to say now. It's a dice game. And it's quite easy. You essentially get a layout of cards at the start, or these related to this abstracted art style, Mondrian art. And you have a player board, and you have dice. You start with 2 dice at the start, and you gain a dice each round. And essentially you place the dice on your player board as to how you're going to throw or launch that dice at the board. And whatever your dice lands on, you can pick that card up as long as you're on it, and the number on your dice is higher or the same as the number on that card. And that's pretty much it. You can flick people on as things off, and you've got various ones. You can throw left, right-handed, blindfolded, drop it, flick it. There's one other. I can't remember the other thing. Anyway, that's it. It plays really quite quickly. It's one I really enjoyed. It was kind of like that Essen I was at, it kind of got talked about. And, oh, this is quite good. And I went and found it and picked it up. And it was cheap. And it's really good fun, actually. And it's one I forgot. It was kind of sat on my shelf for a long while, actually. And I played it for a good couple of years. And to be fair, 4-player, it plays relatively quick. It's really easy teaching. It's quite a nice little thing to do. And subsequently, a lot of stuff have come on subsequently after that. A lot of subsequence in that sentence. Doing a similar sort of thing, that Azul type stuff and all that other things. But actually, it's really good. The problem that lets it down is the component quality of the actual cards and all that is a bit shit. It's quite cheap and shit. It's a shame. If this was given a real nice posh retouch, maybe fiddling around, it could be quite popular. But it's a light game. It's that kind of conundrum. What would you do? But yeah, if you see it cheap, I don't even know if it was available outside of Essen. Throw that. That's going to make help. Throw fucking bang noises around, dickhead. But yeah, if you see it outside of Essen, which was some years ago, if it's around still, maybe pick it up if it's cheap, because it's quite good fun. So we did that. So there you go. That's all that we did. Let's do some news.
Here is the news.
News. Board Game Geek announced that the new Board Game Geek app is out on the Apple Store. Well, fuck you, because I fucking don't have Apple, and fuck Apple, so I haven't got that. So that's for you. If you've got Apple, you can do that. I couldn't tell you any more than that, because I can't do it. Assassin's Creed is the board game is coming to retail. It was a Kickstarter, I think, a year or two ago. Never backed it. It looked kind of cool, but it was expensive. I think it was about $280 or something. Plus, they had a bunch of expansions for about $70, $80 a pop. Lots of miniatures. So they've said they're releasing a retail version to it now later in the year, which will come with cardboard standees replacing all the miniatures bar the assassin characters you have in the game. So make it more reasonable. It's still retailing at like $140, which is like still kind of eye-watering, considering most of it is now cardboard. I hear good things about it. I've not played it. I quite like the Assassin's Creed games to a point. I don't know. I'll keep an eye out. But that might be of interest to you, possibly. We see. The other thing I did see, and I've just remembered that I didn't actually write it down on here. James Murray, you shared it. Thank you very much. Pendragon Studios, who did The Thing, recent board game, which is coming very soon. I should have that in the next month or so, I think. They've just announced that they're doing another John Carpenter one. They're doing Escape from New York. Escape from New York. I love Escape from New York. The UK #1. I fucking love that movie. 1980s, John Carpenter, Kurt Russell goes into New York City, which is now a maximum security prison, and he has to rescue the president of the United States and get him out in under 24 hours. What a fucking great setup. Lots of cool characters. Lots of actually quite a good cast. Harry Dean Stanton's in it. There's Ernest Borgnine, Isaac Hayes, and it's kind of that post-apocalyptic, cyberpunky thing. And it's good. It's good. It's fucking good. It's aged well, I feel. I haven't watched it for a few years, but it's one I can revisit. Very comic booky, sort of that style of stuff. They've threatened to do remakes many times. They've not, fortunately, come to pass. They did do Escape from LA, which was a sequel, follow-up, redo, which was all right. Wasn't as good as the original. But yeah, I'd quite like to see Kurt Russell do that one more time, because we like a bit of Kurt Russell. So yeah, another Kurt Russell, John Carpenter mashup ball game. We've got The Thing, another Thing coming. I've got Big Trouble in Little China, which is now sadly out of print. Escape from New York. I'm fucking all over that. Thank you, James, for bringing that to my attention, because I didn't read my emails. But yeah, that cool. Meanwhile, in objects and things that we really don't fucking need, there is Smash Up Disney expansion. More Smash Up. Smash Up is one of those that's an idea. The concept of Smash Up is fucking amazing. The actual playing and the implementation of Smash Up is just annoying. I love the idea of Smash Up, and then when you actually come and play it, it's just fucking ugh. But there's more Smash Up. So if that's your thing, do that. Another thing I saw was Steve Jackson Games are doing a Kickstarter later in the year for Revolution, but a redo of Revolution. Revolution was from designer Philip DeBarry. It's a really good like kind of negotiation, bidding and bluffing game, and it was quite cheap for a while. There was 2 expansions which I never actually got or played with, but I've played it a couple of times many years ago. Really enjoyed it, but never actually got around to picking it up, and I think it's out of print now. They are doing a Pathfinder retheme Revolution of it, going to Kickstarter. I don't know, I'm not Pathfinder, yeah, I'm with, to be fair, in regards to that. I liked Revolution, so if it's reasonable and they implement it in such a way that I might be tempted, because it was one of those that kind of I meant to pick up, never did, haven't played for a while, but it's good fun. I think it played up to 6, I think. So there's that. So here we go. Here's the issue, see. The focusing of videos has been all over the show. Okay, there's been major issues with it, and we've seen it, and this is why this is the fuck around I have to do. So, there's a camera on up there, which I'm filming this on my phone over there, which is in a gimbal. But up there at the back of the thing is the main camera locked into position. It has a cheap shit lens in it that I got off Amazon, like a fraction of the price the proper big lens would have cost me. So, the autofocus on it is garbage. It sounds like a fucking dust cart reversing down the road, being hit by a fucking tree, or running over toddlers. That's what it sounds like on auto. So can't be autofocus. So I need to set it up there, and then I need to focus it on here. But here's the fucking quandary. I can't do that while I'm sat here because the fucking camera's all the way over there. So what I do, and I've worked a little on this, we will put the chair here, so vaguely I need to be sat here in the fucking chair. Okay, so I'm going to be about here. So then what I need to do is focus that on that. So let's get a thing. Then what I'll do is get a couple of board game boxes. And I'll get that, because Monolith Arena, there we go. Nice red, so I should better see that. So if I position that there, if I focus that camera on there, so that kind of isn't blurry. The problem is on the back screen of that thing. And I'm getting old. So I'm kind of going, I think that's about right. So I make a vague guess on that. Then I got to take this away, hit record on there, take these away, and then sit down. Like that. Blah, 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 blah. Bang, and we're off to the races. That's the fucking klutz I've got to go through every fucking time. To get, so which is why sometimes we have the soft focus, and it's due to me being incompetent and cheap shit, really, and that's how that all works. So that answers the question. This is a behind the scenes of how stuff does not get done properly. But there you go. There, you've seen it. How was that for you? Was it good? Was it informative? I'm glad I could fill you in on that. Hopefully I managed to get it right this time. Time will tell. We shall see. God help us all. What else? Watched. I didn't read or see much. I watched the Adam Project, Netflix, which is the Ryan Reynolds thing, time travel thing. He goes back in time, meets his younger self, and stuff happens. It's all right. It looks quite nice. Reynolds actually is quite good in this. He's not like overly in your face like Ryan Reynolds. Sometimes he can become a bit grating. I like him, but there is a point where you cross over into, I want to punch him. In this, he's pretty good. He's a bit more restrained. It's, I think, maybe to a point because I think his dad passed last year. So there is moments where there's almost a little gravitas to him, maybe, where he's actually kind of dealing with that. The kid in it, whose name escapes me at the moment, is amazing, actually, the kid actor. He does a fucking excellent Reynolds version of Reynolds as younger. His mannerisms, his pattern, he's really good. So he's brilliant. The kind of cast is, you got a bunch of Mark Ruffalo's in it, Zoe Salada and what's her name from Alias? Can't think of the name. It's gone. Jennifer Garner. I think it's Jennifer Garner. They're in it. The cast are kind of alright. They kind of find it a little bit like Zoe Salida. She turns up and then doesn't. It's weird. She's kind of there and you blink and you miss it. I wasn't fully engaged. Catherine Keener plays the bad guy. It's just utterly forgettable. Shame. Could have been better. But yeah, it looks alright. It's not bad for an hour and a half or whatever it is, entertainment. But it's kind of all over the place a bit. And yeah, it's alright if I watch and forget. I literally now sit here going, I watched it. Can't remember much about it, but I definitely watched it. It was all right. Other than that, not much else, really. There we go. So that's a whistle-stop tour. I've got a couple of more vids coming. Charlie, I know I saw in my Dropbox has just dropped another RPG one for March, so I'll get that ready and rolling. I've got a couple of other vids that I filmed that I need to edit that I'm just being crap at. Come on, people. Like, share, and subscribe. Let's get over the 400. Let's fucking do this. Let's get to 400 fucking subscribers. Let's do this somehow. Yes? Good. That is your homework assignment for the week. I've been Mike B. This has been the Mumble Jumble for March the 21st, I'm saying, whenever this comes out. And there you go. What a whistle-stop tour of nattery gibberish that was. Until next time, play some games, and I'll catch up and see you next time, I guess. Fuck off. Ta-ta.